It's Harry Bernstein here for High School Sport Talk. Today, we're talking about the #1 sport, recreational sport in America. It's bowling. Don't go away. We're back. We're here with Tony Palumbo, the head coach of the boys and girls bowling team over at JFK High School, and Heather Maduro. Welcome to the show, everybody. Coach, tell us about your teams.
Hey, Harry. We have a good teams, good boys and girls program this year. Our boys team has a lot of returning players from last year, and they were division champions last year, so we expect that they'll be contenders again this year in our division and maybe in tournaments throughout the state. Our girls team has some veteran players and an infusion of some newer players. And Heather's a veteran player, and Courtney's a veteran player, and we expect that we'll do good in the girls' side too. They finished second in the division last year, and hopefully we have aspirations to maybe move up into that first spot this year.
Now Heather is captain of the girls' team, and Joseph, who we're going to see in a little bit demonstrate, is captain of the boys' team.
That's correct.
How do they bowl when they're in a tournament?
A tournament's a little bit different than our regular match, and usually in a tournament, for instance, this Saturday we're going to be bowling in a tournament that has 82 lanes at the house we're bowling at.
Wow.
The boys will be in the upper 48 and the girls will be in the lower house. So
where is that at?
It's in Brunswick Zone Carolier in North Brunswick.
Oh.
And this particular house, it's conceivable that the boys could be bowling on anywhere, maybe lane 1 or 2 or 3, and the girls could be on lane 80 so there's quite a distance for me to carry.
So you're doing
myself
a little jogging back and forth
a
to
lot.
keep an eye on.
If we're lucky, the boys could be in the upper 40s and the girls in the lower 50s, and it won't be so bad. But
right.
It's the luck of the draw. When you go there, you draw for lanes.
So they're usually just on either end of the lanes if it's a smaller bowling alley.
Right. If it's a smaller house, for instance, next week we're going to be bowling at Jersey Lanes in Linden. They only have 40 lanes, so it won't be as bad. So it really depends on the house, but the list of the house in the tournament, the boys and girls are never right next to each other. In a match, we have 10 lanes to cover, and they're both within those 10 lanes, so it's not as bad.
Now let me ask you both. I'll ask you first, Heather. When you're standing up there ready to go, ready to roll, are you looking at the arrows out a little bit, or are you looking at the pins, or what are you looking at?
I mostly look at the arrows because they give me more of like a perspective from where to shoot it at, and I know because I hit the arrows before I hit the pins.
What arrow do you usually hit? Like the second or third one over from the right? Are you a righty?
From the right. I'm a righty.
Righty. Second one over from the right. And what kind of ball do you throw?
I throw
kind of a hook or a curve?
It's like a hook ball.
Yeah.
It hooks a lot at the end, and it goes straight for a while, and then it just goes hook.
Tell me a little bit about you. Are you a junior or senior?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior this year. And hobbies other than bowling, or do you bowl constantly?
Bowl constantly.
You do? You go, is your family a bowling family?
Yeah, my dad and my mom bowl and my sister bowl. My brother used to bowl, but he doesn't bowl anymore.
Oh, did he bowl for the team here?
No. My brother and sister didn't go here.
Can you beat him now?
Yes.
Yeah. Coach, is it different for a lefty bowler from a righty bowler? Is it a whole different game?
Yes, very different.
How so?
For most bowlers are right-handed bowlers, so the lane conditions for a left-handed bowler are usually more favorable than a right-handed bowler because so many people are bowling on the right side of the lane that the oil pattern changes more dramatically than it does on the left side of the lane.
So as the game goes along, the righty part of the lane is wearing down and the ball's going to change, whereas the lefty's going to stay pretty much through the whole tournament.
It'll change, but it'll change in their favor because they can actually move the oil where they want it to be moved, whereas the righty bowler is at the mercy of everybody who's bowling on that side of the lane.
Okay. Heather, when did you start bowling? How old were you when you first rolled the ball down the lane?
I was probably around like 5 or 6 years old.
And where'd you do that at?
Majestic Lanes in Hopewell, New Jersey.
Oh yeah, the Majestic Lanes. I know it well, is the head pin pocket the most important spot for you? Is that what you're trying to get to when you hit your arrow? You want it between the 1 and the, what is it, the 1 and the 3?
Yeah, I want to hit it mostly in between, like mostly towards the 1 pin so that it'll go through and hit the 8 pin.
Is that what you want the kids to do? Go a little high on the head pin,
Well,
or just get a lot of action in
Yeah,
there?
particularly on some of the oil patterns that we bowl on and the type of oil and type of lanes where we bowl on, sometimes you need to be deep into the pocket to get carry. So if you come in a little bit light into the pocket, they'll leave a lot of 10 pins. Lefties will leave a lot of 7 pins. So you want to make sure that you're deep flush into the pocket.
Now tell me about that oil briefly. Every time before you go out there at night when they close up the place, they re-oil it?
Yeah, they usually do it. They usually do it before certain squads throughout the day. So various, they'll do it before leagues, and usually not for open play. But then they might oil 2 or 3 times in the course of the day. And if it's an important tournament, they certainly put a fresh shot out for us.
Heather, why is your follow-through so important?
The follow through is mainly important because it gets you like a good it helps you like hit the ball more than you should.
So in other words, a good spin is gonna,
It's gonna
you
help
gotta have that big follow-through. Where does your arm go when you follow through? Can you show us?
like probably like right here.
Yeah.
Like if you follow through, it goes like that. So
And do you keep your fingers in deep, or are you, I mean, I guess everybody's different, deep, or are you holding with the first digit or 2 there?
I use the first digit.
And is it everybody's different, or you want them to do a particular way?
Well, preferably, as Heather does, she uses fingertip ball. So preferably you'd want the kids to get into a position to use a fingertip ball. Conventional ball, they're not going to get as much rotation, they're not going to get as much revs on the ball. It's not going to be as powerful. So the sooner that any new bowler can move into a fingertip ball, the better they'll be.
So the thing that you're concentrating when you're up at the line is what?
Is
What
the
are you
arrows.
thinking?
I'm thinking just like, I don't really think, I just clear my mind and I just throw the ball.
So try to just be
Yeah.
one with the bowling lane, really,
Yeah.
right? And get it down in that pocket. What's your goal or strategy for the kids on game day?
Focus, make sure that they're aware of the changing conditions. They need to be aware of every shot that's being thrown, not just by them, by everybody on the lanes they're bowling on, because every shot's telling them something. It's telling them where the oil's moving, it's telling them what kind of shot's getting carried. So the biggest thing is focus, and the tougher part in bowling is people who are recreational bowlers, they're there to have fun, they're eating, they're palling around with their friends. In competition, you need to be a little bit more focused and follow what's going on everywhere around you.
So focus is the key word when
Absolutely.
you're getting off the bus with them. Focus, everybody, right? Is there another athlete that has motivated either one of you that you can bring their focus or their X factor to the game? I mean, growing up, was there somebody that, boy, I want to coach like so-and-so, or I want to be like Mike, is there anybody you can think of?
I would either pick my dad or Norm Duke,
Okay. And why would you pick your dad?
because my dad's the one who actually took me to the bowling alley, and he's the one that actually got me started in the bowling.
And you noticed his concentration when he was up there.
Yeah.
And how serious he was about it. And how much fun you have in bowling too, right? I guess
Yeah.
you got that from him too. Somebody that you were inspired by when you were...
Yeah, I think looking at bowling, I'm a bit older, so people like Johnny Petraglia, who I still know and I know him well.
Really?
He's a great bowler, he's a great teacher, and he's still very active in promoting the sport.
Okay. A message to the middle school students who might be watching on TV right now. Why should they come out and be on Mr. Palumbo's bowling team?
I've been on the team for 4 years, and they're like the best years of my life. Like, I had so much fun. I met a lot of new people, and it was just a great experience.
Okay, so fun experience, and you get to meet a lot of nice kids. You would say the same thing, come out for bowling because...
It's a way to get involved and meet new people in high school.
All right. Well, Coach, I'm going to ask you, could we have Joseph possibly demonstrate what it's like to approach the line for us?
Sure.
And his name is Joseph Picard.
Right.
Right. And let's do that right now.
Okay. Okay, Joe's going to demonstrate his approach, and Joe uses a 3-step delivery. A lot of people use 4 steps, 5 steps. He's used to a long stride, and he plays pretty much a straight up shot. Okay, Joe, go ahead and you demonstrate.
All right, Coach, thanks for having him demonstrate that. Heather, thanks to you. Thanks to Joe. Coach Tony Palumbo. We'll be right back with another bowling coach. Don't go away. And we're here at Colonia High School. We're going to talk about bowling. We're here with Amanda Small, the head coach at the Colonia Patriots home here. And we have Captain Bruce Thome of the team. Welcome both of you to the show. And let me start out by asking you, I'm just curious, you have the beautiful Patriot shirts on. Is there something to a loose-fitting shirt, a tight shirt, or is that all personal? And what about the shoes? Either one of you.
It's personal. These are our uniforms that we get throughout the season. We order them in the beginning. I actually ordered new shirts this year. Some of the bowlers like the collar, some of them don't. But it's mostly loose fitting. As for the shoes, just like a pair of sneakers, you want to make sure you have your own shoes so they are comfortable for you.
How do you feel about the collar on the shirt? All right, or
the collar shirt doesn't really affect me that much. Really anything I could bowl in, and then the shoes are just
they are what they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't really make a difference.
That's the way I used to feel when I went bowling, but I thought maybe some people might be a little particular, as you say. Some people may like the collar, may not. How do you analyze the potential of a bowler when you see a bowler out there?
You learn a lot by watching. Basic mechanics I look for. First day of tryouts, you're just looking for certain things such as a follow through, the way they release the ball, their approach, their finish at the line.
Okay, so you're looking for the techniques that they may have honed over years of bowling. Are most of your bowlers, as they try out, have they been bowling a long time?
Most of them,
generally?
yes, they have been. There are a couple new ones that are just starting out.
And Bruce, when did you start bowling?
That's when I was a really young age, probably close to 5 or 6.
Is that because the guys and gals you hung with bowled, or
Yeah, well,
because
my
your
parents bowled.
Your parents?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a bowling family.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself besides bowling. What other hobbies do you have, or are you on the lanes all day and all night?
Well, I also do golf for the school, and that's pretty much it.
Those are the big interests that you
Yeah,
have.
just bowling and golf.
Yeah, okay. What is the #1 thing you concentrate on when you're at the line? Just before you roll.
Right before I go, I just breathe. I take 3 breaths, and then I just go. It's just blank. I try not to hear anything and just focus.
You just kind of zone out into what you got to do. And breathing is good, right, Coach?
Yes.
You got to breathe. When you were a long-time bowler here in the school system, what did you do when you were up there? How did you concentrate before you rolled?
Same thing, just you got to take that deep breath before you go. Look at your mark. Everything else is just blocked out. Never heard a thing when I was up there. It was just me and my mark.
So you really look at one of those arrows, that's what you're concentrating on.
Yes.
Yeah. Bruce, when it leaves your hand, do you know if it's going to be a strike? Can you feel it? Can you sense it?
Yeah, I could it's going the right path. I can see that's going the right path, but most of the time it is a strike, but sometimes then you get a weird reaction to it.
The ball does something weird when
Yeah.
it gets down the end of the lane. Yeah, but you do have that good feeling. You know when you hit your mark,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. How do you psych yourself up before you get out there for competition?
Well, the whole entire team really gets together. We talk, and then we yell Colonia, and then we start. So that gets us pumped up, and everyone screaming and helping each other.
Sounds good. How do you psych the team up as you're getting off the bus, or where would you actually talk to them before you leave, on the bus, or actually was it the Carolier lanes
Yes.
in New Brunswick?
I talk to them on the way to the bowling alley. I usually tell them I obviously tell them who we're facing for the day, and then how important the match is. Every match is important. Some days we have to psych them up a little more. Like our first match of the season is against our rival, I would say, Saraville. So that's going to be a big one. Normally throw a quote in here and there to try to get them going.
And why is Saraville is that because in your division they're one of the top teams there?
Yes, in our division it's Saraville, Monroe are our two biggest rivals, I would say.
Okay. What about the 4-6 split? Okay. What are you a right-handed bowler?
Yeah, I'm right.
And what any particular thing you're trying to do? Are you hooking it in there, or what are you doing?
I'll probably try, like, I'm going for a 10 pin so I could move the 6 over, like, and try to hit the 4. So.
Okay. Does that make sense to you, Coach? That would
It
be the
makes
way
sense.
to do it?
I would prefer them just to get one pin at least. That's the overall goal when they leave that.
Oh, okay. All right. Tell us about a tryout. I have no idea how you try out for the bowling team. Where do you go? What are you looking for? Does everyone make the team? What's that all about?
We go to Carolier Lanes and we go to Woodbridge Lanes. The first day, I don't really say much. I'm kind of looking to see who's been bowling, who's been practicing in the off season, if they are a returner, making sure that they have stepped up a little bit and not took the whole season off. I'm just looking for technique, really, and what little adjustments I can make to their game to help improve them.
And how many kids can you take? How many on a team? You got the boys and the girls. I mean,
I would say up to 12 on each team.
On each
Normally
team.
6 bowls. So you don't want to keep you don't want to keep too many because of participation-wise. Obviously, you want to get everybody in as much as you can.
and does everyone have the, I mean, I assume a lot of kids have their own bowling balls, but what if I come out and I don't? I've just been bowling and I use the ball at the recreation center, whatever. Does the school provide bowling balls, or you really got to have your own ball?
No, you really have to have your own equipment, shoes, ball-wise. You can take a ball from the lanes and use it for the day.
Oh,
You can
okay,
rent shoes
yeah.
as well. I had some kids last year who actually never bowled before and went out and got equipment for this season.
Okay, that's interesting. I did not know that. You gonna bowl the rest of your life?
I don't know yet. I think high school, I'm just gonna like stop it there and then like do it for fun. Like after that, I don't think I'm gonna be bowling in college.
What about
Maybe.
golf? You gonna golf the rest of your life? Is that a lifetime
Maybe just
sport?
for fun,
Yeah.
like with friends and all that.
That's both are great lifetime sports. You can do it, you know, as long as you keep yourself a little bit in shape. Because I guess if you do the wrong thing with bowling or golf, you could hurt your back if you don't do right technique, right? What about body warm-up? Speaking of hurting your back, is there a warm-up for bowling, or do you just get out and loosen up by rolling a couple of shots before the game starts? What do you want them to do?
It is good to stretch out before you start, get the muscles a little loose, and then after that they have a 10-minute warm-up before we start our regular season matches.
Okay, all right. I'm going to ask you both a question. I'm a 144 average bowler. I want to be a 180 bowler. Let's start with you, Bruce. What should I do to get better?
Probably practice more, like try to be on the lanes at least like maybe like 3 times a week.
3 times. That's really what it takes, isn't it? It really is. What would you say, Coach?
Exact same thing. Practice and dedication.
Practice.
That's what you need.
Practice, and dedication. Yeah, got to be thinking about it and wanting it. Got to really want it. Well, thank you both very much for sharing with us. Good luck to your team this year. And we'll be right back with another bowling coach and a student. Don't go away.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money.
Take my hand and start a brand new day.
Underneath everything we are all people. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
And We're back at the Woodbridge Center bowling lanes. We're here with the Woodbridge High School team practicing today. We have Coach Rich Maddock and Captain Mike Chundak. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rich, tell me a little bit about your team here, the guys and the girls.
Well, boys are the defending New Jersey State champions from last year. We lost 2 of our better bowlers last year, but I'm still returning 3 starters from last year, including senior Mike Chundak, who's one of my captains. I have another senior coming back, Matt Caggiano. Another senior, Brant Bannister. A freshman coming up who's going to start for me this year, Nick Kober. And a junior who's going to come back this year, Mark Simon. The girls team, I got a couple good bowlers coming back, a couple newcomers coming. Senior captain Jody DiSilvestro. I have senior captain Taylor DeLeo. Junior Ashley Kaduck. Freshman Sarah Schneider, and freshman Tyler Carpenter.
Okay. Well, tell me, what are you thinking about when you get up on a lane? What is your way to get into the X Factor focus mode?
Not to throw a gutter ball and hit my mark. Those are the 2 things I think about.
Do you really think about don't throw a gutter ball?
Occasionally.
Yeah.
It's happened before.
But hit your mark. Is your mark the furthest one over on the right? Are you right-handed?
Yeah.
Is it the furthest one over on the right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that gets you in the zone.
Yep.
All right. Tell me a little bit about you.
I've been bowling on the team for 4 years. Last year I was on the state team that won. I made all division and I qualified for states. And when I'm not bowling or at school, I'm either at work, I work at Burger King, or I'm outside shooting or working on computers or
Where do you work?
That. Burger King.
Ah, Burger King.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You put in a few hours there, huh? A lot of French fries taken home at night? No. What about weight training, guys? Do you recommend weight training, or doesn't it matter for a bowler, coach?
Well, weight training is important in almost any sport, especially when you're trying to build your core. I mean, in order to have like a good drive on the ball to get the ball down the lane, you want to have, good muscle tone on your upper body as well as strong legs, because your legs is where all the speed from the ball comes, especially when a bowler is trying to throw a 15 or 16 pound ball down the lane.
That's a very interesting point. I don't think a lot of people would think that the legs are so important. You would think more of the upper body because the ball weighs 16 pounds, but leg strength, right?
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah. Do you lift a little bit?
Yeah, pretty much every day I try to.
Oh, yeah? Okay, you have your own weights at home?
I go to the weight room at our school.
What about on your day off? What do you do?
Either work or I can practice.
You come here to practice?
Yeah.
At the Woodbridge Lane?
Either here or I go to Carolier where we bowl usually.
Okay. Coach, how do you help someone who's struggling? Like 2 weeks in a row, boy, they're not pulling in their spares. What can you talk to them about, or what do you see?
In any sport, confidence is always key. You have to believe that you're going to go out and perform to your best of your ability. Now, in bowling, adjustments could be just as simply as just moving over 2 inches left or 2 inches right. That could be the difference between, putting a perfect ball in the lane and throwing a strike, or leaving a bad split and a hard make for a spare.
On any particular day, your movement could just be different and you don't even realize
Absolutely.
it. And you're wondering why the ball's going somewhere else, right?
Exactly. It's a lot about muscle memory and just keeping that same arm slot.
Yeah, muscle memory, that's right. If you can repeat the good movement that you get one time over and over again, you could do a 300, right? What was your high game ever?
279.
Whoa, boy, that must have been a fun game for you,
Yeah.
huh? Wow. What is the total joy of bowling for you?
I mean, winning, it's fun to win. I mean, our team's pretty good, so we win a lot. But I just like being around friends, having fun.
It is a fun sport,
Yeah.
isn't it? I'm just thinking, what a great way to end the school day. You're a teacher, you're a student. Come down here and bowl at the end of the day. It must be something you look forward to. What's your great joy about being a coach?
Just seeing the kids succeed. I mean, one of the best moments last year, besides our boys team and winning the state championship, was our girls team last year in the county semifinals or the county quarterfinals. We were bowling a team that was ranked higher than us, and we came out and we upset them. Just seeing how happy the girls were to accomplish that achievement. I mean, they all ran down the lane and ran to see the boys team that let them know because they got so excited about it. Just seeing them and how excited they were about performing well and winning just makes it so worth
All
giving up
the
all
practice
the time.
turns into victory.
Absolutely.
It's really something, yeah. What kind of a ball do you throw? Is it a spin ball, a hook, a
I
curve? What do
throw
you?
a pretty big hook.
Yeah. That's why you start from that arrow on the right and it hooks all the way into the
Yeah.
pocket. How would you, if you were to go out and buy a bowling ball, what would you be looking for?
It all depends on the bowler and what type of ball they throw. If you have someone who throws a straight ball, they really just need a plastic ball with a plastic cover stock. If you have someone like me or a couple other kids on the team throw a bigger hook, it all depends on the core, the weight, and the cover stock on the ball.
And it depends on your particular
Your arm
strengths,
swing.
maybe too. Yeah, yeah. What would you say about that, Coach?
Actually, he's exactly right. You know, it all depends on the bowler themselves. I mean, some bowlers use lighter balls, some use heavier, some throw the big hook, some not. So you want to find a perfect ball that, you know, fits your bowler. And it's actually surprising how much research you can do into bowling. I know I like to go and look at balls even for myself in my personal league, but you know, just looking at the different balls that they have from the different companies, just to find something that would work for every single bowler on the team.
And where would you go to buy a bowling ball if I wanted to buy one?
Well, a lot of my bowlers buy a bowling ball here at Woodward Bowling Center at the Pro Shop.
Oh, yeah?
But I mean, you can order them online at bowlerstore.com. There's a lot of different places to go, but you know, since they all bowl at this alley, the guy who drills the ball here is familiar with their styles and everything, so it helps them fit the ball more toward their need.
Now, Mike, let me ask you a question. When you're bowling in a tournament, are you bowling against another guy, the entire team, or are you bowling against your own last good score that you had?
I try to do better every time. Usually it's me against myself if I start doing that. I start overthinking, throwing the ball too hard, and then I just try to get myself back on track or talk to coach for help.
But do you wind up, I mean, is he paired up in a tournament against the, you know, the number one bowler, let's say, on the other team, or is it just total score, doesn't matter who bowled what over there?
The lineup is kind of, you try to put your better bowlers in certain spots, but it's usually total pins for the whole team.
Okay. Well, what is the difference, Coach? Let's say you were a football coach. What would the difference in coaching style be? I mean, it sounds like it would be a totally different, this is more of a finesse sport.
Yes, it is.
Are there times that you get on somebody's case like a football coach would, or talk about that?
Not at all, because in bowling, you can't bowl with emotion. When you bowl with emotion, usually you lose focus. That's when you start throwing the ball harder. You miss your mark. Your form goes off. It's all about staying calm and just, you know, like I said before, muscle memory. You know, just keep doing the thing over and over and keep repeating what your body needs to do in order to make a good shot.
So stay calm is a good
Exactly.
mantra to have. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for sharing with us, and thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week with another sport. Make it a great day.